All right, you beautiful human beings, welcome back to another DIY video. This one we're going to tackle the Y62 Patrol. We've created a kit especially for those door jambs. We've had a couple of customers just advise us that it would be handy if a certain area was protected inside the door jambs, just for, you know, when they go four-wheel driving or you've got the kiddos climbing in the front or back seats. Okay, so in this kit is included the PPF, which comes in a 5-year or 10-year range. You've got your slip solution, which is made here in-house, and then a PPF squeegee, which is nice and pink, all brand new, all ready to go. What you're going to need is a couple of microfiber cloths. Okay, these come in handy for when you're cleaning and prepping the surfaces. As you've seen from a bunch of our other videos, we've got multiple cleaners available. So what we would recommend is just getting a multi-purpose cleaner as your step number 1. Okay, you've got a wax and grease remover as a step number 2. And then you've got an isopropyl alcohol, which is a step number 3. Okay, so you can find these 2 and 3 at Bunnings for 70% isopropyl alcohol. We use 100 because it's just what we do. And wax and grease remover is perfectly fine. So they run in stages, so stage number 1 is going to clean the surface, step number 2 is going to get any sort of waxes off the surface, and step number 3 is going to clean 1 and 2 off. So that way you've got a nice, clean and prepared surface. What you're also going to need is 2 more spray bottles, okay? So you're going to fill one up with slip solution. For this application, you're going to need 2 to 3 drops per 1 litre, so just 2 or 3 squirts of the little bottle straight into a cold water solution. And the last one, so this kit needs to be flexed around a couple of very intricate areas. Nice and easy, we're going to show you the tips and tricks on how to do that, but we would recommend just filling this up with hot tap water. Don't use kettle, just use hot tap water and have this ready to go when we need it. Okay, so once you've got everything ready to go and all set, we can get started on preparing the surface, things to look out for, and then go from there. All right, so once you've got that all set up, you're going to come to the back of the car. Okay, so the kits are basically designed to cover all this section here that's exposed to damages and wear and tear, and then it's going to fold in over about 5 to 10 mil, depending on your initial position. But the kits are designed, they're separated around about here, just for ease of application, and they end up around, just around the middle of where this knuckle thing is. All right, so we're going to install it there, and then we're going to another piece that it gets installed here and covers this whole section. Things to worry about when installing this on this area. Look, this does track a lot of dirt and debris, so what we would recommend is when you are cleaning it, you get in behind all these rubbers as well, and then you can actually lift up this bottom plate and get all the dirt and debris that's probably caught underneath here. So after you've done that, we're going to take you step by step on how to clean it with number 1, number 2, number 3, and then get it ready for your PPF. Thank you. So once you've got yourself set up, basically we're going to come around and then get started on the cleaning process of this one. Remember, we're going to clean downwards, so that way all the debris doesn't track from up here, and then we can flush everything out from the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to move this camera so it's positioned a little bit better. Hopefully you guys can see there. Awesome. So get the surface nice and wet, that's fine. I'm just going to track down and clean every little spot. Really get into these little crevices. This is a brand new car, so we were lucky to have that on our side. And then another point to note is down here as well, a lot of dirt tracks through there, so you might want to lift that up and get a microfiber all clean through. Not that the film goes all the way down to here, but it gets pretty close. And if you're starting to spray everything and getting all the dirt to kick back up, it's going to affect the final result. Okay. So once number 1 is done, we move on to step number 2. And the reason why I sort of recommend using a bunch of microfibers is to not mix them up. So you don't want to be using a number 3 and then using number 2 microfiber. It's just not gonna work out for you, and you're not going to get the promised clean surface as I ever so mark it. So it's just a quick wipe down. You're going to feel everything work with you once you move on with that. And then last step would be a number 3, which again, just quick spray and wipe. And that just removes number 2 or any sort of wax residue that might be left over. And you'll feel it sort of be a little bit grippy, which is what we want. We don't want it to glide. We want the surface to be as beautiful as possible. All right, so that's the step 1, 2, and 3. Now we can actually move on to the application side of it for this back one. They're basically the same on both sides. One of your empty spray bottles, 2 or 3 squirts from this bad boy into here and fill it up with cold water. Okay, so we are going to come back around. So once you've topped up with 2 to 3 drops of the slip solution, we're going to spray the surface. And we are going to grab our squeegee, which is brand new. And then we're going to squeegee that down. So we're going to squeegee all what we've just sprayed. Just to make sure there's no floating hairs that have sort of, you know, as we're taking a quick break. Okay, so that's ready for the PPF application. Everything's all pre-cut here, so there's nothing that you need to do. In your package as well, it will tell you which one's left and right. It's pretty tricky to see from this one, but we're going to grab this side, so the driver's side. Peel it off. It might even just be beneficial for you to cut the pieces out individually. Okay, try not to spray into the entire car. So we're going to go back with the slip solution bottle. Spray the backing paper here. And then spray the surface yet again. Spraying down. And we're going to just set the film. Okay, so you should be able to move it around and position it as you would. So it does sit nicely. So we're going to line up basically, if I can get that off there. Line yourself up with this little latch knuckle, whatever you want to call it. You're going to have some overhang, and this is where that hot water bottle is going to come in handy. All right, so we're going to just try follow the ridge line here. It'll naturally sit. These kits have been designed for this surface, and then this should meet up perfectly there. Okay. So once that's done, we're going to spray the top. I'm going to start from the middle and work upwards. Making sure all that excess has come out. Now, if you've put way too much slip solution by accident, that's okay. You just grab another water bottle just with water and then just spray it down. I'll show you what I mean shortly. We're not trying to stretch the film in anywhere. Like I said, it's all been template cut. All right. There we go. So that's step 1 done. This one's been applied, just getting every little pocket out, make sure I'm not missing anything. So as I can, I'll grab you slowly. As you can see here, you're going to have little creases and whatnot. So this is where the slip solution comes in handy. So it's not allowing it to stick. Okay, so this is where we're going to grab that hot water bottle, flush all that slip solution out, and at the same time, it is going to soften the PPF so we can actually get it down. Now we don't want boiling water, and just be careful when you're handling hot water. All right, we're going to set it to jet mode. So your little nozzle. We're going to spray underneath the edge here, so lift up a little bit. We're going to flush that slip solution out. And at the same time, it sort of softens the film, and we're just going to soak it. As you can see, it wants to just relax. And it just naturally folds. But, however, we don't want to trap any air or moisture here. So after we flushed it out, I'm just going to go right to the edge. And you should see it start to stick. If not, just keep spraying it with water. So the ratios of slip solution when we apply it is always different. No one's going to get it perfect unless you're using a syringe, but that's not ideal for smaller applications. So we're going to come up the top here. I'm going to roll my thumb down and press. Hold it there for a couple of seconds. And then I'm going to come down to the bottom here. Spray with hot water, get it to soften up. And then I'm going to come down and press with my thumb. Okay. And by doing that, I've got two of the lowest points all ready to go. And then with my squeegee, I'm going to come and flush the rest of the water out. And then all this part's nice and easy to press down. We're just going to gradually, with your hot water, move it down as such, making sure we're not trapping any air or moisture in that corner. You should see it just sit into place naturally. All right. It's a nice and easy installation. Nothing too crazy. But it's all in the prep work. Just remember, once you've got all the prep work sorted and you've gotten the car, the newer the better, obviously. It's not going to hide any existing damage, unfortunately. It's not how this kit works. All right, so that's basically done there. We'll come up to the top, soften this bad boy up. I'm just making sure I'm not trapping anything around that edge, because once it's stuck down with just the water, then it's a little bit hard to readjust. And you'll find when you pull it up to try readjust it, you'll be stretching the film and it's not going to sit back down as nice. Any little trapped water bubbles that you did get, don't worry, just give it up to 2 weeks to dry out. It's air pockets that we don't want. You'll notice the difference, a little dry patch as opposed to a wet patch. Don't try to push them out, of course. If you made that much of a mistake, just let us know. We might be able to send you another one. Again, this is all DIY, this is all just a bit of fun. It should dry up optically clear, so once that's all done, I'm just going to go from the middle and wipe out. And then wipe out. Okay, if you find that a couple of edges are still sticking up, just give it some time to dry out. Then you may be able to sit them back down, like so. But that should cover you for the most part, especially this as being such a high traffic area. Not so much this of what we've seen. All the damages we've been able to sort of have a look at and assess has been from this area alone. So this is just part one. Okay, so what we're going to do now is move on to the front section. So I'm going to position you guys into a spot where you can see the whole process. All right, so as we move on to the front part here, okay, just be very mindful of the prep work. What you might want to do is just get a credit card or a little squeegee of sorts and just lift up this bad boy here and see if you can see any dirt that's trapped under there. If you can, then put one of your sprayers onto jet mode and just see if you can flush all that out. As we tend to apply and push the film into that edge, this moves and can cause dirt and debris to fall out in these sections. So the better your prep on this one is, the better result you're going to get. Make sure there's no dirt trapped on top of here, just in case we end up spraying up and it falls down. So again, the newer the car, the better. However, you can get away with any sort of installation, no matter if you're aspiring for change and make sure that you want your vehicle protected, then it works for anybody. Okay. So you're going to grab that little L shape that you see in one of your kits. I'm going to peel that off like so, as you can see here. Jet spray, make sure it doesn't fold in on itself or keep up any dirt. Spray the surface here. All right, they should align. So basically what you're going to do is just lay it down flat here around that curve. And there should be a 1 to 2 mil gap here. So butt it up to this edge, as you can see. Might be a little bit hard, so good lighting always helps. So I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that that goes where I want it to. And remember, if you've got a little bit of sort of kicking up, you can always lift this up and press underneath. But the kit should allow you, a couple of millimeters to work with. So I'm going to spray the top here. I'm going to work from there and then get all this tacked down. All right, so I'm just going to squeegee out that way. So if you can't see that, I apologize. So squeegee out this way, and then squeegee back in. You should see all the water start to escape. I'm not rolling over the edge yet. So now that's all firm and tucked down, I can add a little bit of tension this way and get that as close as possible. Then I'm going to run my squeegee over the top and it should stay put. If it doesn't, then do it again, hold it there, and then when you come back, grab your hot water bottle and we're going to flush out the slip solution on the bottom. So the hot water again is just going to let the film relax. But by flushing out all the slip solution, it's going to add a little bit more tack. So while holding your finger down here, you're just going to roll it down. Okay, so as close as you want to get it. And then work on rolling down again, all the way through. And that should cover everything there. So rolling your PPF squeegee over the edges, making sure we're not trapping any air. All right. And then I don't want to dry this way, I just want to go with it just gently, just to see. I see a little bit of pockets here, I could just keep pushing them out. If you're finding that it keeps sliding when you're trying to squeegee everything out, it means that there's too much slip solution in your bottle. Maybe just empty half and then just put more water in it, and then you can go again. But the usual general thumb is 2 to 3 squirts is perfectly fine. And it's just a matter of drying it and making sure it's set down properly. And just keeping an eye on everything. Not overly difficult. Don't overcomplicate it in your head. It's just clean and then apply your slip solution and stick the bad boy on. All right. And that's that. So that basically covers all the rounded edge, should come down quite nicely as it's designed to do. And then you've got another lower lip there. So it doesn't come all the way down because otherwise it tends to make it extremely difficult to install it, especially for us. You require a couple more tools to make sure that it's done properly. Which in the event, you know, as a DIY, doesn't make sense to spend, you know, $400 on a steamer where you can sort of get this result time and time again with our specified templates. All right, so after you've done this installation, what we do recommend, if you do have a heat gun, set it on so low to medium heat, and then seal all the edges. You know, press it down, make sure it's not going to come up. Or if you've got a hairdryer, set it on to max, and then just warm up the edges of the film, and then press it down. Okay. And that should seal all the edges, and you're good to go with the front doors. All right, so now once you've done with the rear part of the car, we're going to come to the front door seal here. As you can see, that gets covered. So we cover the front part, the back part, and then the lower lip that comes around the bottom here. So the thicker part of the front seal is going to be the driver's side on the back here, and the opposite side is going to be the passenger side. Okay, so it's all explained in your kit. I do apologize if I can't explain things properly. But we'll go ahead and clean up this surface, ready for the installation. All right, so we'll repeat the same process, 1, 2, and 3, and then when you come back with the slip solution, so spray with your slip solution. Make sure to clean up on these rubbers, and then underneath here you can lift that with a credit card or something thin. Please don't use a knife, just use something plastic. Don't want to scratch the paint while you're trying to protect the paint, makes no sense at all. All right, we're going to squeegee down, and now make sure any dirt has been removed. Now we've got a nice clean surface to work with. Alright, so as you've grabbed that, might be a little bit tricky. Just make sure you do it out of the way of the wind. Install these under cover, please. Install it while the car's cool. Don't install it after you've just been driving on a hot day because it may affect the adhesive and it might be extremely difficult to work with. Alright, so we've got the thicker notch on the back. We're going to go ahead and apply this here. All right, so line up the front. That way it sits there nicely. We're going to do a little trick, that way it sits down perfectly. So, slip solution bottle, give it a spray. We'll tack down the front, like so. Just there. We're going to add a little bit of stretch towards the back. Okay. So I'm not sure if you guys can notice, but there is a little bit of a contour when it comes to this car. All right, I'll run our squeegee very lightly. Then towards the back, we'll tack the back down like this. And then, okay. Do that. If it's still a bit mushy, just going to hold it down. I'm going to grab my hot water bottle. We're going to spray underneath. Sort of dilute that slip solution. Get it all out of the way. We can maximize our attack and then soften the film at the same time. So running that back there again, and then rolling over from the middle out, like so. Just gradually. Now there's a lot more protection over this lip at the front, because as drivers and passengers get out of the car, they slide their feet this way. So we just need to add a little bit more surface area in that template so it doesn't kick the film out. But not like the back where there's contours happening all at the back here. This is just nice and flat. So we were able to get a little bit more out of that template without having you go buy a $400 or $500 steamer and a couple of other tools to make this work. So this is just for basic tools and DIY installation. All right, nice and easy. Okay, again, if you've kicked up a bit of film up here, what you can do is just grab a little bit of a credit card or something thin again, just pry that up and then you can tuck it underneath. You're not going to always get it 100%. I know we don't sometimes when we're in a rush installing these. Yeah, we still get it 100% perfect, but you know, just as a peace of mind, just keep that in mind. And you want to tackle that while you're installing it. Otherwise, what's going to happen is dirt's going to track down again and lift up and get underneath there. All right, so we'll come back with a microfiber. Again, I'm not trying to lift up or go anywhere. I'm just going to go along these lines lightly, just dry everything. Just have a look at my handiwork. Any little moisture bubbles, remember, will come out. Don't try to heat them out, just let them dry out naturally. And it's all in the prep work. And all ready to go, guys. I mean, that's pretty much the basis of it. So grab your heat gun, low, medium heat, or your hairdryer, heat around the edges, and then you should be all right to seal those edges and it should be all good to go. All right, guys, so once you're done with that installation, look, it should take you about an hour and a half, depending on your skill level. We always design our kits and bring it down to the fundamentals of everything. You know, they're designed for somebody who hasn't touched PPF or vinyl before, and the application is extremely straightforward. Hopefully these videos help you as a step-by-step guide. We offer a warranty with all our kits, so if you do make a mistake, look, mistakes happen, that's perfectly fine. Send us an email and then we'll be able to send you out a replacement piece. Okay, that's free of charge, it's all covered. If you find that, you know, a couple of years down the track, we do have a warranty based on the film yellowing or cracking. Please feel free, again, just to contact us. It's all covered. All right, thank you again for watching, guys. Absolutely amazing work. You know, keep up the good work. We appreciate you and appreciate you following and purchasing from small business. And have a great day.